Hello and welcome to Market House, the podcast where we talk all things Disney. My name's Caleb.
And I'm Caitlin.
And this week we talk about our recent trip to the Disneyland Resort.
Let's dive in.
All right, and this is episode number 172.
Welcome back, as always, everybody.
Welcome back. We are back from our Disneyland trip. Thank you for letting us take a week off last week.
Yes, thank you.
We were in the parks, and the last thing I wanted to do on top of packing and, leaving work and trying to catch up with that stuff was to record an episode. As much as we love doing it,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, and
So-
we don't want it to feel rushed or anything.
No, yeah.
So.
And I kind of put half effort into it, and you guys are like, that was lame.
Yeah.
Just take a week off, bro. So we did that. Took a week off. It was actually kind of nice.
Yeah.
Take a little breather, not have, it's another thing we have to do, which is fun, but it does take time.
Right.
So, a few hours less of editing and all that good stuff. So anyways, got some time back, which was nice in preparation for our trip, and we had a good time.
We did. I feel like it flew.
It did and didn't, I feel like.
I
Right?
feel like, I don't know. I feel like it flew.
Okay. To
Like-
me, it felt like the length we were there. And then sometimes, I think after you get home, it feels very quick.
The same. That's how I was going to
But
say
when I'm
it.
coming home,
Yeah.
when I'm sitting in the airport, I'm like, I'm ready to be home.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever ready to be home.
Really?
No, I love
Man,
being down there.
what do you call it? Creature of habit.
Yeah, and
I kind of-
comfort. You like
Yeah,
being home.
I do love being home. The pandemic, I think, ruined my brain,
Yeah.
and it's hard for me to leave home. You know who actually said it the best, and I always quote him, Jason Bateman.
Oh, yes.
Said basically, why my house is fine-tuned to what I want it to be. Why would I want to leave it?
But it's really not.
Basically the place the place I'm going better be absolutely amazing for me to justify and feel good about leaving my fine-tuned home.
Which is why we go to Disney so often.
It's true. But even then, halfway through, I'm like, kind of miss my bed. You know what? I miss my family room. So anyways, we love Disney. I'm just playing around. But yes, it's hard leaving home. We have a good time, but I'm always a little ready. There's always a part of me that I'm ready to get home, get back to my routine, my normal breakfast, my normal,
Normal food for sure.
normal food. We'll get into that in a little bit, but theme park food gets to you.
I know.
I just feel like it heavy and lethargic.
It's good. But after
Yeah.
your second cheeseburger, you're like, all right.
My heart's like, for the love of God, please stop eating burgers.
And all the dessert, which
I
we'll
know.
get into later. I'm
We'll
excited.
get into it. All right, let's get into the trip report. I did want to talk about some news, but honestly, how long these things take, we want to get right to the trip report. And honestly, little one, I think is maybe coming down with something. Poor Maddie's down for a nap right now, and I just don't know. She was up most of the night last night.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she's going to wake up early, so I think we should just get to it.
Okay, let's do it.
Really quick. I did want to mention we did see the Tron Ares trailer.
Oh my goodness.
That looks so stinking cool.
I'm very excited.
I'm super excited. And you said you don't remember not the first Tron. That was back in the 80s. You probably don't want to watch that. But the remake, the Tron Legacy, is that what it's called?
Yeah, I don't remember that one. And we've also never been on the ride in Magic Kingdom.
No.
So,
So we need to make that a thing. And number 2, we need to rewatch Tron because Daft Punk did the soundtrack, and it is
Yeah.
one of the best movie soundtracks, in my opinion, in recent history. So anyways, we'll watch that this week. Okay, let's get into the trip report. So we just got back from our spring Disneyland trip, and we want to share our experience. And I will say one thing before we dive into day one, travel day. I think we can encapsulate the experience with just 2 words: spring break.
you guys, whoa. It was
Yikes. I don't know if it's just a lack of remembering or if it wasn't like this back in the day. It's just gotten busier, but holy smokes.
Yeah, from my personal opinion, in years past, we've gone multiple times during this quote unquote spring break period. I truly feel like this was the busiest spring break I've ever seen at Disneyland. It was insane.
Insane. Like you could barely move in the parks. I
Yeah.
mean, barely move. Now we have a stroller to navigate. It was the stroller was a major liability this trip.
Mhm.
Finding parking for it was insane.
Parking.
Well, you know what I mean. Sorry.
What do you mean?
Can I get a private parking spot, please, for my stroller? But
Valet.
finding valet parking for the stroller. Finding a place to put it, and then navigating Main Street with it, and navigating Toontown with it. It was just such a pain to deal with this time. And even just breathing room, even if we left the stroller and went for a walk around somewhere, it was so packed.
Yeah, and it was also one of those things where, tell me if you didn't notice this, but I felt like everyone was in agreement. Like every time I'd look around, like people weren't as like forgiving of like, oh yeah, go ahead, you can go ahead and go in front of me. It was like, no, I'm here, you step aside.
Yeah, and you know what I think it is, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's the spring break crowd. I think it's, families here spending an arm and a leg to be there. Either only time they can get away because the kids have school, so this is the week they have to have some fun, and they're also experiencing the what the heck everyone else decided to show up this week. So I think it's just I spent a lot of money, I'm going to enjoy it, or I'm going to get my money's worth, get out of my way.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like a ton.
Yeah.
And with spring break comes a lot of kids. We have one, so kids are great, but I will say it was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to run this child over because they jart in front of you, or they're like balloon smacking me in the head. We're trying to walk through.
Yeah, or
DCA.
the line of like one family across one walkway.
Yeah, horizontal.
That
Love
was a
that.
lot of that.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
One thing I did want to mention though, even though the crowds were a bit heavy, the weather was amazing.
It's beautiful.
Like it was probably one of the best that we've had in a long time.
It was gorgeous. Like not at all too warm. There's a couple moments where I like took my sweatshirt off, but like it wasn't like, oh, I'm dying.
Not too cold either.
It wasn't too cold. We're
great.
We're having to wrap Maddie up. It was beautiful. So if anything, if you're going to go for spring break, expect the crowds, but also you're going to get some pretty awesome weather. This weekend looks pretty rough.
Yeah, give or take, because I think it's going to be mid-80s this weekend.
That's hot. Okay, let's get into it. So travel day 1, we decided to fly in early this time.
Yeah.
So usually we fly in like after work on a Friday night or Thursday night. This time we said with just how our passes lined up and the hotel availability, because it was actually fully booked the week before, I think is how it worked out. So we had to shift our original plans, to leave on a Saturday morning, and we landed around noon in Long Beach.
Which I loved.
Yes, that was really nice.
Yes, because we got like almost a full day at the parks.
Yeah, we woke up a little before Maddie, kind of prepped everything. I was a little worried that we'd have to wake her up early, but she honestly just woke up on her own
perfect timing
accord, and we just got her in the car. She was distracted, I will say, because my mom came to pick us up for the airport, and she just sat there and said Mimi over and over. She can't say Mimi yet, so she says Nana.
Yeah.
But
I think she thought she was going to Disneyland with us, because for those who don't remember, she came with us on our first trip with Maddie to Disneyland. So I think when she showed up, it was like oh
hey, you're coming.
Mimi's
and then
coming.
When we got to Disneyland, she did ask for Mimi a couple times. Like, where's she at? I'm like, well, she stayed home. So anyways, went to down to Long Beach. Flight went amazingly well. We got a middle seat. That was nice. Maddie got to stretch out a little bit. And where am I getting at? We got our bags and we took an Uber. We took an Uber to, we stayed at the Westin. Again, that's our favorite off-property hotel. We'll get into that in a minute. So we had to go from Long Beach to the Westin.
Great Uber ride, no problems.
No problems. Great Uber ride. The one problem was it was after tip, which was, I don't know, 18, 20%, something, nothing crazy. It was $90.
Whoa.
$90 for a
28 minutes. I checked.
You did?
The little GPS thing on his phone. Yeah.
But $90, dude.
Yeah.
It has gotten so expensive. Our return one was like close to 80, 76, something like that.
Didn't it used to be like 40 something bucks?
Yeah. Okay. So kind of apples and oranges here. We have to take an Uber XL now because of just the amount of crud we have to bring with us. We bring a lot of bags. We probably could squeeze into an Uber X, a normal car, but it would be very tight. So I choose to play it safe and get an Uber XL. So I know that costs a little more money. I'm not complaining about that. I think that has gone up. I used to pay 70 something dollars. Now it's 90.
Right.
So very expensive. So just plan for that. If you're going to Long Beach or John Wayne, you have to if you get an Uber, it's going to be a little expensive. Yeah. They keep raising prices. So just keep that in mind for the old budgie. After we dropped our bags off in the room, we went straight to the parks for lunch. We wanted to get tiendita. We considered it, but then we ended up going to get flopovers.
Yeah, we almost went to Puesto as well. We decided to go get some yummy, delicious pizza.
Remind me what Puesto.
Puesto at the resort.
At the resort. Oh, well, let me tell you, at the Westin. Love Puesto. They're very good. They are $11 per taco.
Which we've got it before and we love it, but our little one loves to eat tacos. So
we would have been buying for 3 adults, essentially.
There would have been like 12 tacos. I'm not even kidding. And that would have been so expensive.
I would have been like, so we're $200 in so far.
And they're one of those people or restaurants, they don't do rice and beans with like tacos. So you're literally just buying the taco.
Everything's a la carte. So it's $11 a taco. If you want rice and beans, you got to pay up. If you want chips and salsa, you got to pay up. So I did not want to start the trip off with $100 lunch. And so I said, you know what? Let's just head into the parks. Yeah. So we went and got our flopovers.
Daisies.
Love Cafe Daisy. I love those things. They're so good. Gluten-free, delicious. Maddie did not have that, did she?
No, we got her. She wanted mac and cheese. Well, no.
Oh,
So
we
she
did.
actually fell asleep in the stroller, which I don't know if we've mentioned it on here. She's not a stroller napper. Like, she just doesn't like to do that.
She's
She
never
likes
done
to
it.
hang out. No, I think literally in her entire life, I think she's napped in the stroller once. On our way into Disneyland, she fell asleep. And Caleb and I are like, it's the Disney magic.
It's a Christmas miracle.
So we just ordered her mac and cheese because she normally loves that. We got that and she was like,
She hated it. And let me tell you, it was $6 and it came in it looked like a sauce cup. You know when you get like a side of sauce somewhere?
For like ranch.
It
was
was
so small.
If a toddler was eating that, like a 2-3-year-old,
That's not enough food.
It would have been a snack.
Yeah. So she ended up having some of our pizza and she loved it 'cause she loves pizza.
She loves her pizza.
I think the flop over was definitely the best one of the trip. That was so good.
It was wild. So good. We saw multiple kids soaking wet from that dang water fountain.
So fun.
So fun. I was cracking up because I just can't believe that this kid was in jeans and a t-shirt and like essentially laying in the fountain in Toontown. I was getting a kick out of it. Maddie wanted to try, so she stuck her hand in a couple times and was loving it.
I really love that they have that there,
It's
especially because, again, I feel like 8 times out of 10, if Anaheim is really hot. So the fact that they have that area where kids can just stand there, they have lower, like, what would you call them? Like not water beds, I guess you could say.
Yeah, they're little, just
like the little
water fountains.
Yeah. So there's like a taller one and then there's like the shorter ones. And the kids are just having so much fun. And like the parents get to sit on the benches around and just watch them play.
Yeah, I think it's cool because like, most places if you go, we have a like shopping center around us that has this giant fountain, right? You're not supposed to touch it. You're not supposed to stick your hands in it, but kids want to do that, right?
Right.
Lights and music and stuff. It's fun. This is really cool that they get to go, oh, I get to actually play in this. It's
right.
It's allowed. So it was fun watching kids have fun with that thing. We did go ride Dumbo. That was our first attraction of this trip. Maddie loves this ride.
Yeah.
She doesn't understand yet, though, the concept of a line.
No.
And so,
cute.
it was a 35, 40-minute line, which is fine. So we're playing, having a good time, but she just kept saying more, like pointing to Dumbo, like, get me on this thing.
Yeah.
And I had to show her, hey, the 300 people in front of us all want to ride it as well.
Yeah.
So she loved it.
I will have to say about that ride, because we were a little nervous hopping in the line, because as Kayla mentioned, I think it was a 30-minute wait. It went by really quickly. Like, even though there was a ton of people in line, I was very surprised.
All in the shade, which is awesome. So good attraction to wait in. So we went over to Pooh Corner and grabbed some little treats. Maddie enjoyed a little bit. Caitlin takes a lot for Caitlin to give Maddie something with sugar. So it was, again, a Christmas miracle for Maddie. But she got a little bit of Caitlin's cookie, and she was in heaven.
We're cookie girls. We love it.
Yes. I got a churro toffee.
So good.
Guys, these are $8 a pop.
$8.29.
$8. I bought like 5 on the trip, not going to lie. I was loving them. But $8, come on.
But I think, number one, they're worth it. And number two, I think that was the best one of the trip at Pooh's Corner.
Dude, it was wild.
It was the perfect consistency.
It was so good. I like demolished it. I was like, I'll save some. No, I didn't save any for later. Then we went over to the Incredicoaster. We watched the launch 20 times, I'd say. Maddie loved watching that thing take off. Got so excited, was kicking her feet and yelling and screaming. She loved watching it. So that was fun. And then we went over to Jesse's Critter Carousel,
which we've been on once before with friends. And Maddie was super little. Oh, no, she hasn't been on.
Maddie hasn't been on it.
No, we went out with your mom.
We did.
Yeah.
We went on the King Arthur's Carousel in Disneyland.
Oh, that's right.
We did not go. So this is the first time on this.
The first time was with Chris and Emily when I was pregnant.
Yes.
And then, okay. So this was Maddie's first time, as Caleb mentioned. Sorry, I got them mixed up. She loved it.
She loved it. And she wanted a specific one. So we were on a bunny.
A pink bunny.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she loved that. Again, right after we get off every single ride, she goes more because she wants to do it again. And I have to explain to her, hey, 30 minutes later, you can be on it again if you really want to wait in it. And I know she doesn't. So anyways, that was really good. A really good time. And then she fell on something that totally surprised the both of us. We were walking around in the shops over there in Pixar Pier, and she pointed to Buzz, and it was like her life changed.
Which, a little backstory, we watched Toy Story before we went to Disneyland, and she has new like Toy Story pajamas that she's been wearing. So she's kind of been like, oh, like when we'd watch Toy Story, she's like, oh, Buzz and Woody are on my like pants. So she locked eyes with this, the Buzz Lightyear in the store next to Midway Mania, and it was like,
oh, dude, like
the one true
nothing
toy.
Else. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I grabbed one off the shelf, and I'm like, okay, like I did not expect this at all. And we always have a Maddie budget, right? We get stuff for her. And so I'm like, all right, this can be her first thing of the trip.
Yeah.
And she was in heaven.
So sweet.
Cast members were super sweet enough to like unbox it for us and get rid of the cardboard because she just wanted to play with it then. We strapped it. Caitlin has these little bungee things that
like
we can...
silicone straps.
Yeah. Lifesaver, I'll tell you, because Buzz almost flew off a few times.
He's heavy.
He's really heavy. But those bungee things kept it on.
Yeah.
And so anyways, we strapped him in and she was just in heaven. That buys you, let me tell you, parents, spend the money. because it buys you like a few hours over the trip of just them being quiet and pressing Buzz's buttons, and that was nice.
She'll go from like just like Caleb mentioned, pressing the buttons to opening his wings to just staring at him to messing with his mask and like pushing up and down, and then she's talking to him.
There's so many things to do on it. So she was having a great time. That was worth every single penny. I think for Maddie, don't listen to this, but I think for Easter, in her basket, she may have the rest of the crew.
Oh, because they all talk to each other.
Yeah, so
you
they
get
all
the animatronic ones.
Yeah, we're going down total rabbit trails. But like, if you buy the ones from Disney, not Target, because I was going to buy them from Target because it's right down the street, but they don't have the sorry, how do I say this? The proximity sensors in them. So the ones from Disney, at least Jessie, Bullseye, Buzz, and Woody.
Yes.
Maybe one other I'm missing here.
Is it Rex too or no?
No, Rex doesn't have it. If they're all together, they have different dialogue options that they unlock almost because they're next to each other. So the characters will talk to each other and have different dialogue depending on who they're with.
Which is so cool.
Blows my mind. I think that's amazing. It's like an advanced toy.
Right.
So I found them on Disney Store, and they were kind enough to send in we got a 20% off coupon.
I know. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. They knew. Yeah. So we're going to be buying, I think, the rest of them, so she'll have that. So anyways, great toy to grab for the kids. We ate dinner at Lucky Fortune Cookery since they have the gluten-free teriyaki chicken back. Hallelujah.
Which, if you remember from our last trip report in January, we were super sad because they took it off they took the allergy-friendly teriyaki off the menu because they had something during the festival.
Yeah, is it Festival of the Holidays? Or no? What was the last one? Lunar New Year.
Lunar New Year.
Lunar New Year, they had a gluten thing that they were sharing the grill with. So rightfully so. I'm glad they, for cross-contamination reasons, took it off. But it was a bummer when they had to do that. So it's back, though. And it was better than ever.
And it was a bowl this time.
Yeah, it used to be a plate.
Yeah, which I wasn't really like. I mean, it was good, but like the bowl just takes it to a whole other level because it's like it's all mixed together and
it's actually pretty fairly. It's not even expensive.
No,
it's like $10, $11 for the bowl,
and you get a lot of food compared to what you would normally get.
So great value for the families
Maddie
out there.
loved it.
Maddie loved her version. Doesn't come with sauce, just grilled chicken, rice, and veggies. And
so good.
Great meal for the kids because nothing wrong with chicken fingers and mac and cheese and all that good stuff they get to eat throughout the park. But that's like it. Like, that's all they get to eat.
Yeah, that's like, I think my biggest complaint.
Yeah, for the kids menu. So this was a good option. It's like grilled chicken, and for the quick service at least. Sit down, they have way more options. But for quick service, it's the same 3/4 staple foods that kids like. Right. But 5 days of that probably gets pretty old pretty quick.
I mean, probably not to them.
Yeah. They're like, chicken tenders again? Yes, please.
That would have been me as a child.
Yes. We ended the night with an overpriced Ghirardelli sundae.
You guys, we went a little crazy on this trip with Ghirardelli. It was... I have no words. You know when like you eat like food and you're like, I have fireworks.
I think you said it 8 times while eating it. You just said, this is life-changing.
There's nothing like it. And I know it's very expensive, but let me tell you.
It's $17.
It's ridiculous. But Caleb and I split. We don't get our own, right? I mean, I wish we would.
I think Caleb would have it.
But what is it called? It's the something beach.
Ocean Breeze? Ocean
Breeze?
Ocean
Beach.
Ocean Beach.
Something.
I don't know.
It's the one and has basically vanilla ice cream. And you can either get a dark chocolate or milk chocolate square, and then it has fudge and caramel with whipped cream.
Listen, you can also get hot. They give you the option for milk chocolate fudge or hot. Gosh dang it!
Dark
milk chocolate fudge or dark chocolate fudge.
We got dark chocolate.
No. Milk chocolate.
That's
dark
right.
chocolate's gross.
You're like anti-dark chocolate.
Blech.
But anyway, with that, with a little bit of sea salt, you guys.
Gosh.
Oh my gosh.
It's very good. Okay, let's get into day 2. Woke up, started the day off with some Starbucks in downtown Disney because Miss Maddie likes to sleep in like a teenager when we're in Anaheim. I think it's very overstimulating. So she needs her sleep. So she doesn't wake up till like 9. And by the time we're all getting, done getting ready and getting her in her car, it's just kind of pushing it to make that 10:30 time slot with Disney. It's when they end breakfast. So we just went to Starbucks to play it safe. And this girl ate 2 things of oatmeal.
Yes.
She loves oatmeal.
her steel cut oatmeal.
She loves her steel cut oatmeal, let me tell you. So she loved that. She ate some of our eggs. We had some good coffee to start the day off and then headed into the parks. We were at Disneyland again. And we took Maddie on Jungle Cruise for the first time.
So good.
So
she
fun.
Loved it.
We love that ride. One of our rooms in the house is kind of Jungle Cruise themed. Mm-hmm. And so I think she was kind of connecting the dots there. Yeah. So that was a good time. And then Maddie took a nap while we snacked on popcorn and a Diet Coke and walked through Grizzly Peak.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're cutting short. We flip-flop parks, obviously, but this was like later in the day.
Yeah. We just kind of walked around. This was very much a chill trip.
Yeah.
Not a ton of attractions and stuff.
Caleb, I have to mention though, you blew my mind. You introduced me to having popcorn with Diet Coke. I'm not a big soda drinker. I'll have a couple sips of like Caleb's Dr. Pepper or like Fresca. But other than that, I'm literally plain Jane. I just drink water. Having a Diet Coke with popcorn was so good.
Telling you, a crispy Diet Coke, man, with some popcorn. It was very good. And the popcorn was like pretty much 90% salt and then 10%
So good.
popcorn. It was really good.
So good.
It was salty. So you need a drink to accompany it. It was delish. I wanted to try the lemon pepper wings, so we went and grabbed those from one of the booths. I'm forgetting which one it was.
Yes, for the Food and Wine Festival.
Food and Wine. Those were very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm going to repeat this. I think this is a kind of no-duh moment for most folks, but you're not buying these things for the value. They were like $9 and you get 3 wings.
Mm-hmm.
It's absurdly expensive for wings, but that's just kind of the name of the game with these festivals. They're very expensive. They're like snack portions, but I think it's worth it just to try it out. It was very, very, very good and gluten-free, so a win for the allergy folks out there. What else did we do? We grabbed lunch at Flo's V8 Cafe. At some point, I'm probably skipping some things we did.
We went on Ariel.
Okay, we went on
There's
Ariel.
a couple rides we went on, but we're just skipping over that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We went and grabbed Flo's. Maddie did get spaghetti from Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta, so we got that in a little to-go thing. Headed over to Flo's and ate lunch there.
Which, really quick update, for those, again, who listened to our January trip report, we mentioned that they don't have, at the Boardwalk Pizza, they don't have the gluten-free pasta and pizza. We went and checked in and had an interesting experience.
That's right. It's worth noting. So on the mobile order that used to be, you can order a gluten-free pizza and a gluten-free pasta option, which is like spaghetti, basically, right? So that was gone. So I just went and asked them out of curiosity, can I still order gluten-free with you guys? And they're like, oh yeah, you can do that. And I was like, why is it on the mobile order? Well, I don't know. We take it off once in a while. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Anyways, they bring the chef out and I asked him, this has never been the answer, so it scared me a little bit.
Yeah.
I said, hey, what can I get that's gluten-free? And he said, anything. And I was like, really? Anything?
Because that's not what we've heard the last 700 times.
Usually it's you can only have the red sauce because the white sauce has gluten in it. And you can have, like a gluten-free cheese or pepperoni pizza. That's it. And I go, can I get that chicken white sauce thing? He goes, yeah, I think so. It should be.
It should be fine.
It should be fine. And I was like, no, dude. I've never gotten such a non-committal response from a chef.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's the cast member, and that's totally fine. And you have to ask for the chef, and they come out and they kind of straighten it out. It was flipped this time where the chef was like, yeah, probably is. That was wild.
Yeah.
So that was not a great experience. I'm hoping that he would have caught it. Maybe if I ordered it, I just said, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I would definitely say if you don't have as severe of an allergy, then you should be fine. But if you are dealing with like cross-contamination or anything like that, I wouldn't do that if that's the response that you're getting.
Yeah. So just, you can clarify and don't feel bad to kind of dig in and ask follow-up questions. I just was like, this is not worth the effort. So I left. But that was an interesting interaction that normally doesn't happen at Disney. So it was a unique situation.
Sorry, back to Flo's. We're having lunch.
Back to Flo's. We had lunch, and then we walked around Cars Land for a little bit, went shopping, showed Maddie some stuff, and then we went to Ghirardelli for another Sunday. This is so sad.
Separate day.
Now that I'm reading this. But we got another Sunday at some point, so $17 gone, but it was delish. We ended the night with Storyland Canal Boats and dinner at Rancho del Zocalo. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll say this. Storyland Canal Boats, I love that ride. It's maybe not worth like 30, 40 minutes in line. It's fun. Maddie loved it. We loved it. But then the dinner was kind of I don't like that place. We've tried it like 3 or 4 multiple different times.
Yeah, it takes forever.
It takes too long. And the food's not that great.
I don't think the way that they gave you the food is the most efficient way of doing it. So you basically stand at the front and you order, right? And they're making it in front of you. Usually you're like, okay, they're just scooping stuff onto a plate that it would go pretty quickly. It took for me to get a bowl. It was like 15 minutes.
Yeah, so I think total from standing in line to getting food was 30, 40 minutes of just standing around. Which is, again, for quick service, is pretty wild.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's not like it's a sit down. So that was pretty interesting. Again, the burrito bowl I had, it was fine. It wasn't bad or anything. The Caleb got the street tacos. Again, okay, but just nothing you'd go out of your way. And again, they're not cheap. It's not cheap at the parks anymore for food. So FYI.
No, it was underwhelming. So I won't eat there again. Day 3, we started our morning at Starbucks yet again. Little Miss Maddie needed her beauty sleep and she got it. And so we went and got this time I think she ate egg bites with you.
She had egg bites and her own oatmeal. And this was a special morning because Kayla put in a mobile order and the mobile order was pushed out 40 minutes. So Maddie and I went into World of Disney and did some shopping and she grabbed a little friend. If you don't follow us on Instagram, definitely do because we post all this over there. She picked up Hey Hey. to complete her Moana and Pua collection.
Yes. So Moana is a not a full size doll. We have a 5'4" doll. No, it's a little like normal size doll. Does
Like
that make
little
sense?
princess dolls.
Yeah,
Have,
little princess thing. Okay,
stuffed
so
animal.
she got that. My parents got her a little moving Pua. So he's a little bigger, right? And he walks around, and she loves him. She sniffs him for some reason half the time. She just gives him a little smell because pigs are supposed to smell, I guess. And then Hey is they don't sell him in the normal size things anymore. He's just a shoulder pal, which I love. I love the shoulder pals, but he's so small. I just find it comical that he's legit super tiny and the rest of his character, the rest of the Moana characters are huge. But we attached him to the stroller and she loved that.
Yeah.
So he just walked around with us all
He's
day.
been riding around on Pua for the past couple days.
You like strapped him on there somehow?
I put like a little string because it's a magnet. So I put the string on there and then she'll press Pua's ear and then you'll just see Pua and Hey going around the house.
All right, that's fun. So they went shopping while I waited for our food, ate that, and then went into California Adventure. We went to ride Monsters, Inc. And if you've been listening to this show for any length of time, you'll know we absolutely despise this standby line. You'll get in there and it says 40 minutes. And then, again, not the cast member's fault, but they have to come on and say, the stated wait time is basically inaccurate. They say it in a very a much better way than I did. And then they just say, it'll depend on kind of lightning lane. And it always is add 10, 15, 20 minutes to your wait time. You won't move for like 20 minutes.
Right.
It is the worst line. So after 15, 20 minutes of standing there and not moving, I said, forget it. Let's buy lightning lane.
Yeah.
I caved. It was, I don't know if it was half off, but it was discounted for Magic Key holders that day.
Yeah.
So I just took advantage of that. We bought it and booked it later time for Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we said, oh my gosh, we're 15 minutes away from Moana coming out. Let's go meet Moana.
Yes.
So if you know this, Maddie is obsessed with Moana right now. So we went over and waited in line. Moana was late.
Again,
the last trip she was late. This is fine. Maybe she's a diva. She requires certain things. She requires certain temperature, maybe a drink. They don't have her macchiato in hand. I don't know.
Well, it went from, I forgot what time it was at, but the cast member said, hey, Moana is going on a journey. She'll be out at, instead of 11, it's going to be 11:15. And
Okay.
we're like, okay.
And normally I'm like, whatever. It is
Yeah.
what it is. But this is where parents got very upset.
Mm-hmm.
They said she's going to come out 15 minutes late, but also means she'll be out 15 minutes less. Like she's not going to be out here for the full time.
Right.
That's crazy to me. Why they wouldn't just extend the time.
Yeah.
So parents were very upset because they're like, okay, I'm in the back of the line. Am I going to be able to ride it?
Yeah.
And so this poor cast member had to stand there and explain to everybody that maybe, maybe not.
And then it's, of course, the non-committal answer of like, well, I mean, you should be fine.
Maybe.
But no parent wants to hear that.
No, and their kids like getting antsy. It's
Yeah.
a long wait. They've probably been there for 30 minutes at that point. So
Yeah.
that was not very well done. But we did get to meet Moana. Maddie loved every second of it. So that was a good time. After that, we went to return to Monsters, Inc., went to ride it, and 20 seconds into the ride, it shut down.
I know. Literally, we're on it. And right when you're in the tunnel, when she was that little guy, what's his name?
I don't know.
He's like, she picked me up with her mind powers.
And shook me like a dog.
Right at that
Yeah.
point, the ride shut down. So we had to walk off. And
Yeah.
Maddie was like,
She was so confused. She had
What?
more. And I'm like, I know, a kid.
Yeah.
So we got our little, multi-pass thing. That was
Yeah.
so annoying. And then went and did some other stuff. We did end up riding a ton of attractions that day.
Yeah.
Since we had
Lightning Lane.
And so we did end up getting our Monsters, Inc. ride in. She
Mhm.
loved it. We did, Caitlin and I were able to do Soarin'.
Yeah.
So while Maddie slept, we took turns going and
Mhm.
ride Soarin' over California.
It was awesome.
which is the superior version.
Yeah.
In my opinion. It is crazy seeing standard def though. Isn't that crazy going from Over the World, which is HD,
Mhm.
to Over California? Back then we didn't know any difference.
Still, it
but
was
it's
so good.
very fuzzy.
And the smells.
The smells are superior. Everything about it superior.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. But
Yeah, we did quite a bit of rides that day, as you mentioned. We tried to do Guardians, but once we purchased Lightning Lane early in the morning, it was already pushed out till 8:30 p.m. And only one of the elevator shafts was working. So Guardians was at like 190-minute wait the entire trip.
I was going to mention that later, but I think that's what's going around. I don't know if that's still the case. I know a couple weeks ago that was the case, that one of the shafts was working, two of them were down, and they still had that dang ride open. At this point, I would just shut her down, fix it before the 70th would be my
You would think.
whatever. But again, I'm also not a Disney executive, so who am I to say? But
Mhm.
anyways, that's the case over there. So that was an insanely long line the entire time. That was very annoying, and we didn't get to ride it. It is what it is. What else here? We ate at Lucky Fortune Cookery again. Since they have the grilled chicken for Maddie, like we've mentioned, we wanted something somewhat not fried for her. So
Yeah.
we ate there a lot. That was very good. And then we also grabbed flopovers for dinner that night again, just because it sounded great.
Yeah, we did a lot of back and forth and park hopping, which is really nice. So especially for Lightning Lane that day, we of course didn't mention we did a lot of rides over in Disneyland. Kind of went back to DCA. The entire trip for us was slammed.
Yeah, it's the festival, so everyone's there to get food, but it makes it very crowded.
Yeah. And especially when all the lightning lanes are pushed out, or if you like, for example, we go on Monsters Inc., it's like you can't go on that again. So it's one of those things where we spent a lot of our time in Disneyland, but it was great because it worked out. We got to hit a lot of rides over there. So if you hear us mentioning that we're just eating the whole trip, there were multiple rides and things in between, but we just don't want to bore you with.
Yeah. And then we went and rode, whatever. So boring.
We did check out the Haunted Mansion queue and got to see that for the first time because we didn't get to go on it last time because it was still under construction. The ride was open, but we didn't go on it.
Yeah, and we got to ride it with Maddie. Okay, so let's just parent moment, right? I was under the impression, I was just like, Caitlin, I don't know if we should bring Maddie on this. It's kind of scary. There's a loud scream in the elevator thing. I'm not into it. Caitlin was like, I think she's going to be fine. I was like, all right, whatever. So we had a little moment in front.
Right?
And I was like,
a moment.
Not moment, but I was just kind of like, hey, if you're sure, if she screams, it's on you.
Yeah.
You have to take her out.
And I'm like, I know she's going to be fine because she's so brave. But then it was one of those things where like, once we got into the ride, I was like, oh my God, what if she's scared?
I know that you you got in your head a little bit. And then we were both a little tripping out in the ride because I'm like, you forget some of the elements of like, oh,
we haven't been on it in forever.
That's scary for a kid.
And the last time we went on it was Christmas. So it was like...
That's true. But she was totally fine.
She was fine the whole time.
I
tell Caleb and I crack up all the time. We always stress. I mean, as a parent, you stress out. You're like, oh my gosh, my kid's going to be scared, XYZ. And they're fine. And you're the only one that's stressed.
I know. So she had a glass. She loved it. And then we got off.
Yeah, we got off.
It was fun to be able to ride.
Seeing the queue and all the new stuff that they've added.
We ended the night with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I will say, I just love that ride a little bit more every single time we ride it. The first time I rode it, I thought it was like, oh, it's decent.
Yeah.
Every single time I ride it, I go, holy smokes, I love that ride.
It is quite jerky, though.
It threw you around.
Especially when you have a little one on your lap and you're trying to keep them from like flinging everywhere. Like it's an amazing, like she loves it, but it's just kind of like the tornado room. She was kind of like, you can kind of feel her sink back a little bit.
Yeah.
But then she loves Daisy now, which we'll get into later.
We'll get into later.
So.
Okay, day 4, travel home day. So this was we did a kind of hybrid day, park for first half, and then we flew home.
Which this was great because this is also different. We normally come home right after lunch, and this time we stayed a little bit later, which was really great.
We did. Our flight home wasn't until like 5.
Yeah, I really liked that.
Yeah, that was nice. Mm-hmm. We did not start at Starbucks this morning. I almost meant to say that. We finished our quest, completed our quest of trying all 3 character breakfasts at the Disneyland Resort. Technically there's 4, but that's a princess one, little specific to a certain, genre of folk, and also absurdly expensive.
It's astronomically expensive.
It's $132. It starts at $130 per person. I don't know who's spending $400 or $500 on breakfast. Not us.
No.
But anyways, that's for a different crowd. Yeah. So we did all 3 standard character breakfasts, I'll tell you that. And then we ended our quest with Plaza Inn.
It's like our tradition now to do breakfast on the last day.
Yes, which is really fun. We love it. The character breakfasts are awesome because you know what? I don't feel guilty not standing in line for all the characters because I go, you know what? Maddie's going to meet 8 of them.
Yeah, and one thing I really love about all these character breakfasts is that you get PhotoPass included with your meal.
So yeah, when they come and take pictures of you, it's all included.
Yeah, which again, it's only with Minnie Mouse for this one.
Whatever.
Just like it was for Goofy's Kitchen.
Yeah, for the time being, this is the case again in March, April of 2025. If you're listening to this a year later, they might charge it.
True.
Probably $80 now for PhotoPass. But anyways, we went and did this. I won't dive in it too much because we're going to do a dedicated episode on all of them and comparing and contrasting. I will say this, though. We've talked about them in the past in our trip report, so it's only fair we touch on it right now, that this one's the most hectic out of the 3. It was a lot going on in both good and bad ways. Great because you get a lot of character interactions.
Ton of characters.
They're coming every 5 minutes. Like you get a couple bites in and they're right there with another character.
And assortment, so it's not the same ones coming back. Like there was quite a few characters.
That's true. So Maddie was in heaven. She literally was squealing and screaming and like smiling. She loved every second of it. But for the parents, I will say it's a little stressful because you don't want to miss moments when you're getting up and getting drinks and food. I will say across the board, all of them, you get your own food because they're buffet style.
Right.
I'm unique in the fact that I do wait for mine because the chef brings it out because they cook it in the back.
Right.
Separate. So I get to kind of hang out. But for 99% of folks, you have to get up and go get your own food. And the unique thing about Plaza Inn is that there's really no server.
Mhm.
So they're not getting drinks for you. They're not getting syrup for you, kind of random stuff like that.
Mhm.
So you have to go get up and get that. That's fine because they actually price that in. It's cheaper than the rest of the options. But I will say it makes for you're away from the table a lot, and one of the parents going to miss some of those moments.
And there was a lot of lines inside for like the omelet station.
And a lot of angry parents. Some dad was making jokes with me about how like, I don't even know what line I'm in. I'm so frustrated right now.
Yeah, because that was one thing that I did, and we won't, like you said, we won't touch on it too much. But one thing I did notice is every single area had a different line. Like it wasn't just one line where you kind of just move through and get all your things
No,
that
you
wanna
got
get.
different items and different lines. And so that made for 3 or 4 separate lines
Yeah.
just to get your food.
I will say the cast member though that sat us, he was absolutely amazing. He was super helpful. Like I remember you had to get up to go do something and I was with Maddie.
I was getting Maddie's food.
Yeah, he was asking me like, because normally it takes a little bit to get the gluten-free food. So Caleb's like, I'm gonna go get her some waffles and eggs, so on. And he was like, hey, do you need an extra plate for the baby? Like, do you want some syrup? And I'll go get your silverware. Like, let me get you some water for the baby. Like, was really on top of it. And that was really nice and very helpful.
Yeah, and I almost wish, because I didn't know that was happening because I missed all of it because I was up. They don't give you the option to tip at all.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
I think it's because they're not technically serving you, but he was.
Yeah, but in that moment, I kind of felt bad because I'm like, well, he did go above and beyond.
Yeah.
I just didn't know any of that happened until like 40 minutes till after we left. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, I wish I would have known that back then.
And then he told me, he's like, hey, I'm getting ready to go on break. You're going to have someone else. We never saw her.
No,
So I don't know. I went up to her once to order more food because I had to go find her to do that. But other than that, that was it.
Weird. Okay.
So-
He was really good. So do you remember his name?
No,
Dave. Dave?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Anyways, shout out to you. You're amazing. Okay. We mostly walked around this day. It was kind of our last day, so we just wanted to take in all the sights and sounds of Disney. Didn't do much. I think we rode a couple attractions.
Did a couple of attractions, nap time at the park, obviously, and it was great.
Yeah, we
Great
did
weather.
some more shopping.
Mhm.
What did we get? Oh, I got a Alice thing.
Yes, over on Off the Page at DCA.
Yes, off the
Mhm.
page GCA animation building, that whole area. Grabbed another. I already have like the ride vehicle figurine of Alice.
Mhm.
This is like a Alice tree and Cheshire Cat situation.
It's almost
going
like I'm looking at it right now. It looks like you almost took it out of the ride. So it has Alice, the Cheshire Cat, it has the tree with like all the signs. There's like all the flowers around them. And the coolest thing ever is it glows in the dark.
Yeah, I need to like sit it in the sun because it hasn't done that yet.
Well, our office is normally like kind of closed up. So like the sun's not coming in.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was a great find. I love the little figurines. So they always are constantly changing. So definitely check those out.
Yeah, check them out. So we did some shopping, walked around, and then headed to Pim's Test Kitchen for our last meal. At this point in the trip, I'm always like done with theme park food.
Mhm.
I don't want another burger. I don't want another pizza. And I will say this, most people are probably like, well, they have more. Disney's great for food. You are completely correct. But for allergy people,
Right.
it's like the theme park staples that you have to stick to.
Mhm.
So that's where I'm like, okay, I'm
Unless
tired
you're going
of
to
this.
sit down.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this. I don't want to do this anymore. So we went and got Pim's because they have PB&Js there.
Well, and we were super full from breakfast too.
That's true.
So yeah.
It was just let's just pack it in before because
Yeah.
we're not going to eat for a few hours with Mads. So we ordered 3 kids meals, which were all PB&Js. They were fine. I didn't even know what to expect, but it was like
A build your own.
it was a build your own PB&J thing. The value's horrendous. Let me tell you, they cut one piece of bread in half,
Yeah.
and that's your PB&J for a kid. Again, what do they think these kids are like 6 months old? Some like 3-year-old's going to order this
Yeah,
and he's going to
no.
be like, I'm hungry.
They did give you more than just obviously the bread. So it was the bread. It had like a big like goop of peanut butter and jelly on the side that you can scoop on and create your own. There was like yogurt with these little like boba balls.
That
That
was
was
good.
really good.
That was really good.
And then there was something else on the side. Was it an orange?
Maybe a piece of fruit.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something.
So you're right. There's a little more food in there, but the main course is like
Super
laughably
tiny.
small. So that was okay. The jelly was like
Gross.
a color of like, I don't even know if real jelly is this color. So that was wild.
It was not. I wouldn't even call it jelly.
It was
like
like candy spread.
and again, I'm not expecting this like fancy jelly
No.
or whatever, but it was like you put it on and it almost tastes like, you know, the strawberry syrup you can put on your ice
Yeah,
cream.
it did taste like
It
that.
literally tasted that and it looked like that.
Yeah, it probably
So-
was that. So
Oh well.
yeah, whatever.
When in Rome.
When in Rome, baby. We walked back to the Westin, grabbed our bags, and hopped in another Uber and headed off to the airport. Long Beach, you know this. The Long Beach airport is so stinking chill. We were the only people in the security line, so we were legit through security in 4.5 minutes.
Mhm.
So we love that airport in that respect. I don't like how it's slightly farther, and then also there's not much to do in the terminal. John Wayne's so much nicer. It feels nicer.
Mhm.
But let me tell you, at least for Sacramento flights, they've doubled. So, we maybe spent $60 one way, so
Mhm.
$120 round trip
Mhm.
for Sacramento to Long Beach. if you want to do John Wayne, it's like $250. So it's
My
legit
God.
double.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened. It used to be similar or a little more expensive. Now it's straight up double. So it's not worth it in that respect.
Yeah.
But anyways, Long Beach is chill. So if you
Mhm.
want a chill airport, that's a good one to try.
Mhm.
That's it. We flew
Yeah.
home. We my parents picked us up. We went and got some Chick-fil-A
Yum.
and then got in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were so tired.
We were exhausted. Maddie was tired.
Yeah.
But again, after a little recovery, we were all back to normal.
Yes. Let's get to our overall thoughts. I
Okay.
have something I want to say. Okay. So first off, I want to mention, now that we're at our overall thoughts, we had something like super awesome happen right before we were going on Storybook Land Canal boats. We got to meet one of you guys and it was amazing.
Yeah, I will say this. I apologize. I was like, okay, this is the moment. Let me set the
Yeah.
mood here.
Replay it.
Okay, so we're walking through Fantasyland. It's spring break. There's like 4.6 million people in Fantasyland. So I'm navigating crowds. Caitlin's like, I'm going to go get in line for
Storybook Land.
Yeah, Storybook.
Yeah.
So she takes Maddie. I am with the stroller. So I have to find parking. I have to grab the stuff off the stroller.
Yeah.
So I'm in mid motion doing that. Then I hear someone yell, Market House Podcast, Market House Podcast. It has never happened before. So I'm like, deer in the headlights, what? Duh? And I'm just like trying to process like what the heck's going on. So if I was like a little like out of it, that's probably why, because I was like, what is going on? So that was super nice. Thanks for saying hello. Again, we won't be in the parks for a little bit, but if you ever see us there,
Yes.
say hi. Hopefully I'm less awkward next time.
You were not awkward.
I was like, hello, fellow
It was
human.
so nice meeting you and your daughter. Well, you know who you are.
Yeah.
And it was awesome too because I was messaging a couple people that were going to be there at the same time. And so I'm so sorry that we didn't get to meet you guys in person, but it was great meeting you, who we did meet. And again, as Kayla mentioned, always say hi because you probably see us just trying to juggle snacks, baby.
I'm like, I'm not going to say hi to them. They look stressed.
Knowing me, I'm trying to run to a ride, but we're here. But
It
yeah,
was
that
good.
was a really fun moment.
Thanks
So.
for saying what's up. Spring break crowds are no joke. Avoid this time of year if you can. That is my review of spring break. We haven't been a long time for spring break. Maybe that's why we stopped going. But I was talking with someone on Instagram and they were like, yeah, that's why we stopped going because it's miserable. So if it's the only time you can go, I mean, enjoy the great weather because you will most likely get better weather than summer and stuff. But just expect that you will be waiting in line or budget for Lightning Lane, unfortunately, because it does come in handy. I hate the service. I don't want to spend money on it.
Yeah, but sometimes you just have to.
It does kind of work.
And
so.
just adjust your expectations. Go in knowing it's going to be packed. Go in knowing there's going to be lines. Go in going that, hey, it's going to take a little bit longer. And honestly, if you have that attitude, it'll be fine. Because the weather was absolutely amazing.
It was. Ride wait times were criminal. I didn't see Radiator Springs Racers or Guardians for less than 90 minutes the entire trip.
Mm-hmm.
At some points, it was like 140 plus 180. That's not cool.
That's single
just
rider line, we tried to get in it for
45.
cars. It was 45 minutes.
For a single rider. Usually that's like walk on.
Yeah.
So that was insane. I rarely get shocked by prices at the parks anymore because I'm so numb to it. I've been going to Disney for so long and spending those prices for so long that I'm just kind of like, yeah, it is what it is, right? This time it happened a few times. Like I found myself going, I'm not spending $18 for a cheeseburger from essentially a fast food
I
joint.
got to grill.
Wild.
It was almost $17 for a cheeseburger.
I know. There's just, and maybe I'm just, I don't know.
And again, I know that we both know obviously that things are going up, but I think it's one of those things where we have been going for a while. So you see these things and you're like, they were just $12.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. So like, yeah, there's some things where you're just kind of like scratching the head of like, that's not worth it at all.
Yeah.
So I felt that a little more this trip of like, I can't believe how expensive it is to come to these places, especially with like multiple kids. That's what blows my mind.
Yeah.
I can't, a family of 5, family of 6. I'm like, good Lord,
Mm-hmm.
that's very expensive. So keep that in mind. I'll mention this, the Westin, it's by far our favorite off-property hotel. We stay there commonly all the time, pretty much. Every single time we go down there. But this last trip, if you listened, our trip in January, we stayed at the villas, the Disneyland villas. Those changed my brain chemistry, changed my life.
Yeah, I have to say so as well.
I love those rooms.
Mm-hmm.
The way they're designed are amazing. They're brand new, so they're really nice. Slightly closer, right, than the Westin. The Westin adds another 10, 15 minutes of walking. So I will say this. The Westin's really nice, but I was missing the villas, I will admit. But again, apples and oranges. The Westin is priced that way, and then what do you call it? The villas the Disneyland Hotel is absurdly expensive. So little apple and oranges there.
Yeah.
You can't compare them directly, but just something to note.
Mm-hmm.
If you enjoyed it once, you want to do it
I've been
again.
converted because the last trip I was kind of like, it was nice, but I mean, I'm excited for the Westin.
I just need to find $50,000 in the couch cushions to buy DVC.
Well, Maddie likes to hide stuff, so ask her.
if she hit a wad of cash, I'll be very surprised. We Love stinking Disneyland. I don't think I have to repeat myself. We love Disneyland. We love the parks. I think we always will. There are parts that annoy us, but I will say this. Let me say this. With the ever-increasing prices, with the insane crowds, with the nickel and diming of Lightning Lane and having to be on my phone all day and book stuff and order food that way, and it's just not the same. I'm going to sound like an old man, but it is not the same as what we were experiencing even when we first got married and when we were kids. It's very different. Very, very, very different. Cruising just feels right for this season of life. With a little kid and, again, with the hecticness of the parks, the cruise is so different.
Yeah.
And is the exact opposite of that. It's so relaxing and you get the Disney magic. You may not have the attractions, but as I get older, I care less about those.
Yeah. No, we just like being in the park.
Yeah.
And eating. And
I think the cruising for this season of our life, I think, is just the right thing.
Yeah.
So I found myself a couple times just going, oh man, a cruise would be so nice right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we, of course, will be going back to the parks for the 70th and stuff, but we may kind of pump the brakes on like the frequency.
Just at Disneyland. Yeah.
Yeah, just at Disneyland. I think the cruise will replace some of those trips.
But stay tuned because that means other things.
What does that mean?
Which is exciting.
What does other things mean?
Other things.
What are you doing? Don't you dare.
Well, I'm not doing it. We're doing it.
Oh, okay. I'm being told.
I'm not going by myself.
Anyways, that is what, that was our experience.
Yeah.
Overall, a good time, expensive, very busy, but it's Disneyland. It's always magical.
So worth it.
Yeah.
I had a great time. I miss it already. It was one of those things coming home, you're like, man.
It's just back to reality, back to work.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So let us know if you're going anytime soon. If you're going for food and wine, let us know what you're eating. And yeah, stay tuned. There's a lot of 70th stuff coming out, a lot of merch and the whole thing. So I can't wait to see what they do with that because the park is under major construction.
Yeah, a lot of stuff under wraps right now. So all right, let's get out of here. Thank you so much for listening. You can find us over on Instagram and Threads at Market House Podcast. Make sure to follow us over there for pictures from the park and exciting news and announcements. Consider leaving a review on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Both are a huge, huge help to the show. We have a Patreon. MarketHousePodcast.com/support is where you can find more information on that. We'd love to have you over there. We put exclusive content. Expect an episode, you guys, in the coming week for you Patreon members. Patrons? I don't know how to say it. Remember to use our Getaway Today link for your future trip bookings. Check out the episode details for that link. I know they have some good deals right now for tickets in the coming months. Use code MarketHouse10 to save an additional $10 on your vacation. Join us next week for another episode. It's been fun. It's been grand. It's been filled with Disney magic, Ghirardelli sundaes,
and popcorn.
Bye.